Have you and your friends ever had a race? Racing can be fun, but sometimes I get so caught up in trying to win that I forget about what else is important. Once, James and I were having a race to the football ground. We were so busy racing, we forgot to pick up some of the players. That wasn't very useful. When I met Hong Mei, the #1 tank engine on the Chinese railway, we just had to have a race. I wanted to win and prove I could go faster than Hong Mei. But in the end, it was more important that we were friends. They may write numbers differently in China, but Hong Mei and I, we can both be #1.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Sometimes it's easy to feel jealous of someone else's talents. Emily thought Caitlin was amazing. She wished she had Caitlin's speed and streamlining. But then one day, Emily used her strong buffers to save Caitlin, and she realized that Caitlin thought she was amazing too. I thought Isla was incredible, and I got upset that she was quicker at getting to emergencies than I was. But then, I discovered that my strong and sturdy frame meant I was perfect for rescuing people during a cyclone. I may not be a doctor or a doctor's plane, but in the end, I was just the right vehicle for the job. Everyone has something they are good at.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Have you ever had to help an animal? Back on Sodor, my friends have often helped animals in need. Like when Philip had to stop Gordon because the sheep were in danger on the line. Or when Diesel helped a family of ducklings get back to their pond. In the rainforest, I wasn't very sensitive to the animals at first. I kept forgetting not to be too noisy and to move around carefully. But when the bushfire started, I helped to rescue them. I learned that animals should be protected and respected. After all, they share our home here on planet Earth. So if you're a duckling, a sheep, or a funny little bear, I mean a koala, don't worry. I'll always keep a place for you on my coaches.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Sometimes we throw things away that can still be really useful. Reg loves finding ways of reusing old scrap. One year, he even made himself a Christmas tree from scrap. And Duck is good at reusing things too. When the school at Harwick was damaged in a storm, Duck went looking for a coach to take the children to another school. He found poor Dexter abandoned on a siding. It was Duck's idea to turn the old coach into a classroom, which meant Dexter was really useful again. So before you decide to throw something away, stop and ask yourself, what would Reg do? And see if it could be repaired, recycled, or reused.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! It's fun to show off what you can do, but too much showing off can get you into a lot of trouble. Spencer was so busy showing off to a very important passenger that he ended up taking him to the clay pits instead of Knapford. James thought it was very important which colour he was painted, but no matter what colour he was, he couldn't stop showing off, even in his dreams. In the end, James realised that he had to stop showing off if he didn't want to have another crash. Sometimes showing off makes you forget to be careful, and that can cause lots of problems.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! How do you feel when someone teases you? Once, Gordon made fun of Henry for being afraid of a few drops of rain. That hurt Henry's feelings. Another time, Samson called Millie a silly little engine. That made Millie feel cross. It can feel horrible when somebody says something mean about you. When I stood up for Rosie at the docks, Bill and Ben and Diesel all made fun of me. I felt silly and upset, and that made me act in a bad way towards Rosie. I shouldn't have listened to them and their silly teasing. Sticking up for your friends is a good thing, not something to make fun of. And I'm very happy that Rosie is my friend.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Have you ever solved a mystery? Perhaps you had to keep an eye out for clues, and maybe someone came along to help you. Once, Bill and Ben sent Timothy all over the island to fetch a rainbow-coloured truck. But just when he realised they were teasing him, Sorty helped him find one anyway. When Sydney forgot what he was supposed to be doing with his flatbed of parts, Paxton stepped in to help. They followed the clues, and together they solved the mystery. The parts were for Sydney. Sometimes, when you've got a problem to solve, it helps to do it together with a friend. Together, you can make it fun.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Have you ever told a tall tale or said something that wasn't exactly true? I've made things up a few times. Once, I caused an accident at the docks and tried to blame a made-up engine called Jeffrey. But that just caused even more trouble. Pretending I knew things I didn't know got me into trouble in the outback too. From now on, if I make something up, I'll make sure everyone knows it's not real. It's just a silly joke. I better get going. I've got a carriage full of crocodiles, and they'll be cranky if we're late to Crovan's Gate. That was definitely a joke.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. You know, water is very important. We all need good, clean water. Steam engines need water to go. Without water, there's no steam. As Gordon found out when a rock hit his boiler, causing it to spring a leak. And soon, Gordon couldn't move at all. Even big, strong steam engines like Gordon need water. Without water, Sodor wouldn't be a lush green island. And there wouldn't be any bamboo in China. Or paddy fields where the rice grows. So remember, every time you go for a swim, take a bath or shower, or just have a drink, you're using water. It really is so very important. So don't waste it.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time.